You know, the fact that that three-peat makes a big deal. And here's the thing. They want it, right? Patrick knows that this is important for history.
Yes.
It would separate himself.
Yes.
Kelsey knows
True
it as
legacy
well.
definer.
He's going to back him up. And Andy Reid is not going anywhere. And listen, I want to give Andy Reid some flowers for a moment, right? We're talking about Patrick Mahomes. But, you know, the Kansas City Chiefs went to now 6 straight AFC championship games.
Sure.
Right? Won 3 Super Bowls. But guess what?
That's 10 for him.
Andy Reid went 4 straight NFC championships with the Philadelphia Eagles and 1 Super Bowl appearance.
And Donovan McNabb, who was a solid quarterback. He was an above average. He's not Patrick Mahomes.
He's not.
Yeah.
He's not. And so at some point, I'm going to give a little comparison to Kyle Shanahan.
He was a giant killer,
and Andy
Donovan
Reid.
McNabb,
and so Kyle might be the old school Andy Reid with the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's a
right?
good. I like that comparison.
And that's the thing.
And like he's got finding his way to getting it one day.
Back then, Reid didn't make in-game adjustments like he did because that's why he couldn't really get over the hump.
Sure.
Now he makes those in-game adjustments. Now, to be fair, he's got Spags, so he's got the backup that he needs
Mahomes,
that he could fully
and
dive
Chris Jones
in.
and Kelsey.
As
He's got some boys.
Guess what? He's a smart man, and I wouldn't be surprised if he adds Eric Bieniemy back to his staff. Because even though I think Matt
he was there
Nagy
visiting with them before
solid,
the Super Bowl too,
give him a little inspiration.
Yep.
Is solid. I think, you know, Reid is the fun-loving, you know, like dad that lets you be you.
Yes.
Right?
But they say he's about that action in practice.
No.
He's about the intensity. Former lineman.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. You got to bring it.
My teams are going to be physical.
As long as you show up, I don't care about your personality,
Yes.
right? I'm going to let you be you,
Yes.
right? But you always got to show up.
Yes.
I think Eric Bieniemy is that disciplinarian, right? That guy that's going to force that habit, drilling. He's that drill sergeant in what I believe. And so all of a sudden,
offense did perform slightly better too when he was there.
100%. So when you're meticulous, when you're consistent, when you're constantly being drilled to be the best and to be perfect, right, at your route, then all of a sudden it's secondary. Practice should always be harder than the game. And I think with Eric Bieniemy, it was more that way. And I think Nagy and Reid, there was a little looseness, and that's why the receivers didn't do as well. And so I think that's why they didn't play Tony in any of these games, right? Because he was the cancer. He was, right, the sour grape that was killing the bunch, right? Versus Eric Bieniemy be like, yo, cut this guy. So I think they realized, like, hey, let's keep this guy away because he's killing the team. Right? I think Andy Reid picked up on that late versus Eric Bieniemy would have got rid of him earlier.
Yeah, no, listen, you bring up some really...
And his antics were less last year with Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah, no, listen, you definitely bring up some good points. It'll be interesting if they bring him on as some type of a consultant. It seems like he might have even made the mistake, which you actually talked about, I want to say 1 or 2 weeks ago, just about Bieniemy maybe misgambling on making that move to Washington. It's somewhat of an unstable franchise, and now he's kind of somewhat left out in the cold. He's not.
Reid.
He doesn't have a job anywhere. So if he could come back maybe and get into his good graces with KC, help in some respects, I'm sure there's a way for him to.
I would have loved to seen him
future.
on the Steelers. That's what I would have loved to. Right? Like if he was going to make a decision to leave, go to the Steelers.
Sure.
He
can call offense. There's no question.
Be the Spags to Tomlin because Tomlin is
just in the reverse.
Great on defense. Yes. He's great at finding offensive talent, right? But he can't get that quarterback right. Eric Bieniemy has the eye for it, and I think he could have really made a difference there. So I think that was the one spot I would have loved to seen him. And I heard that he was up for the Raiders job, right? And Antonio Pierce wanted him, but the Commanders didn't let him out of his contract until it was late, and then he didn't, and then they signed with somebody else.
Sure.
So he's gotten dirty, in this coaching cycle.
Well, so the Chiefs are kind of painting their legacy right now. It's still happening. We're literally living right through the beginning of what I think is the next great sports dynasty in maybe all of professional sports right now. I mean, they look to just be that type of a team. And I think probably one of the things that makes it so impressive is in this era now where parity has just been stronger than it has been in the NFL, and the AFC is very strong too as well. You have this team who is just finding ways to go and get it done.